You already hit it? Oh, All right.
Welcome in everyone to another live edition of 410 Sports Talk. I'm Glenn Martin here with my co-hosts James Haskell and DK in the background. And of course, a familiar face and friend of the show will be joining us here just in a little bit, Coach Evans from Sip2Tally. And man, I'm excited to, as we enter week 3 of the preseason, already 2 preseason games under the belt and tons of practice footage and notes to talk about. But football is ever so much closer. We're pretty a couple weeks away from some actual football that will count. Cannot wait to see it. But I did want to give you a little update on what we're going to be talking about. So we got to talk about the Lamar scare today and the injury at practice and some confusion surrounding at least the initial reason in which the injury, and then it was completely changed. And so we'll go over that, but excited to hear from Coach and go over the competitions, right? There's still a few competitions that I don't think are settled just yet. And I think Coach made that clear. Coach Harbaugh did when asked about it in his latest presser. So I want to get his take on that. And then also some of the back end of the roster competitions, because I know he's been knocking out film after film request, and I love to see it. But Jimbo, who's going to be bringing this show to the fans? Who's our sponsor of this episode?
Yeah, pretty excited. Got a new sponsor, ZipRecruiter. You guys might be familiar. Really excited to partner up with them, and big shout out to them. But look, the Ravens are trying to find their needle in a haystack. Every year they're trying to find that undrafted guy. The same thing happens in work, right? We're looking for the perfect candidate. There aren't enough candidates with the right skills, or you can't find the right person to match up with what you need. That's what ZipRecruiter is for. ZipRecruiter has been using AI before AI was even a thing to match up your recruiter or your role's needs along with a recruit's potential strengths. Immediately after you post your job, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology starts showing you qualified people for it, which is pretty awesome. Now, here's what you need to do. First, ditch the other hiring sites. Let's call it what it is, and let ZipRecruiter find what you're looking for. That needle in a haystack, that Michael Pierce, that Justin Tucker, that the list goes on and on of our undrafted guys. But 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a qualified candidate within the first day. If any of you have ever been in a hiring position or worked for an organization that hires frequently, you know that this is a great number. So try it for free with the exclusive web address ZipRecruiter.com/audio. It's all you need to do. Again, ZipRecruiter.com/audio. ZipRecruiter is the smartest way to hire, so go check it out.
No doubt. And shout out to ZipRecruiter for sponsoring this week's episode. And quick shout outs. What's going on, Ryan? Can't wait. I will be going, thanks to Ryan Laney in the chat, to the Browns home opener, or the Ravens home opener against the Browns. Joe Flacco will be under center to certainly not to Jimmy's surprise. He called that from very early on that Joe Flacco will at least be the week 1 starter. I think.
And shout out to my wife. She also did. She mentioned that to me the other day. I called it too. Okay, fair.
There you go. What's going on, Carly? Yeah, we're going to talk about Lamar here and what's going on. Care Luck. Shout out to Karen and Andy, going through a tough time. Lost Sophie, their Mastiff, very recently. Had to be put down, and as anyone who's ever had to put their dog down knows, that is very difficult situation. So certainly feel for you guys right now. But let's get right into it. Jimbo, the news was confusing today when talking about Lamar's injury. Of course, first and foremost, concern was the first thing, like, oh my gosh, please don't let it be true. But I guess the confusing part was that it was initially mentioned as a wrist arm injury after he was knocked to the ground and eventually picked up and helped off the field by the Ravens strength and conditioning staff along with the team doctors. But then not long after that, a team spokesperson says that it was a foot injury and that his foot was stepped on, and that's what caused him to leave the field, not a wrist or arm injury of any sort, and that it is a minor injury and he's going to be just fine. And then it was then followed by a bunch of, like, Ryan Mink, it's fine, everything's fine. Everybody's saying it's fine. Nothing to see here. He is fine. So, Jimbo, is he fine, or is it like it was almost too much, like, nothing to see, don't look over here, he's good? Like, should we be at all concerned?
I'm gonna go with the optimism here and say no, and say his foot just got stepped on, and I'm gonna leave it at that because I don't even want to think about the ramifications of an injury. I'm not even going to let my mind go there. So right now, I'm going to say no.
Okay. All right. I hope you're right. I think you're right, but man, it's just worrisome that it went from it didn't travel from the wrist to the elbow. You're talking wrist to the ankle or to the foot. That's a big distance that the injury traveled, at least from what they said it was to what it ended up being. So hopefully it's just like they said, nothing to see here, and he's back and fine. That's what we heard from Tylan Wallace after practice, that he is just fine, nothing to see here. So, man, whew, that was scary, Jimbo.
Yeah, when that was the first line on ESPN, I was like,
yeah, like what the hell? This cannot be.
That made me really nervous. I'm excited to get Coach's take on this too, along with, of course, just like you mentioned, Glenn, final roster spots and otherwise some, this is game 3. Certainly preseason has changed throughout the years, and definitely for the Ravens, but there's still a lot of intrigue. And we're here to talk about it and kind of break it down. So why don't we let Coach in here? It's been a while since we've had him in, and we'll first get his take on Lamar's injury. Coach, how you doing this evening, man?
I'm good. Can y'all hear me fine?
Oh, yeah. We hear you good.
Cool. I had to break in a new mic. My old faithful just fell out on me, so I'm working with something different today.
Well, you sound good. You sound excellent. We appreciate you hopping on. So, Coach, we got to get your first take here. What's your take on Lamar's injury? What's your concern level? What do you think it is? All the above.
So I heard what you guys were saying about there's nothing to see here, but what really concerned me is something that Cordell said in his little recap. He said that after Lamar fell, he threw a couple more passes and they were pretty bad. So that, and it could be just the initial shock from, hey, I fell on my wrist, and you use your wrist to try to break the fall. So I can understand somebody stepping on your foot and you putting your hand down and try to break the fall and maybe hurting your wrist. But I'd be more concerned with those 2 throws after that than anything. But hopefully, they're not blowing smoke up our, and everything is fine. But because we can get the draft season real quick if he not.
Oh yeah, you got that right. After what we've seen from the backup quarterbacks, it would be a complete loss season, I would say. But man, let's just hope that whatever it was, that it's a short-term injury, and obviously we won't be seeing him in the last preseason game, so he does have some time to get healed up, but not what you want to see at the end of training camp. That's for sure.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I'm just going to pretend that everything's fine, because otherwise, that would not be good. But I want to start on the offensive line with you, Coach, because I think that has the most storylines and the most competition. And there's a lot to talk about because it's not just the competition at starting positions, but also the future. And so I'm going to start with the future question, and then I'll let Jimmy hit you with the right guard question. But I wanted your take on Carson Vincent and what you've seen from him so far. Obviously, being brought in from a small school, the expectation wasn't that he was going to be a year 1 contributor. But the hope is that he can develop into, at the very least, a swing tackle, or ideally, maybe even the left tackle of the future once Ronnie's all said and done. Obviously had some raw moments from his tape, but I'm curious what you saw from Carson Vincent in the brief time we've seen him in preseason. Do you like what you see? Do you see kind of the reason the Ravens drafted him when they did?
I do. I actually just finished my second Carson Vincent video, maybe about an hour or so ago. That'll be out tomorrow. But you obviously gonna see some bad, like you saw the play when he got knocked on his butt. Yeah. But there's a lot of things that he has that you can't coach. Like they ran a toss play and he was the lead puller on that, and he didn't lumber out there. He was actually like a for real athlete running. And then you see him already trying to use his hands. Soon as he got here, it took somebody else, who remains nameless, 4 years to start using their hand. So you see the coaching taking place from him. He just has to get some confidence, but hey, I can really play with these guys. Coming from Alabama A&M, he hadn't really had to go against some of those guys. But I will say this: in the 2 games he's played, he's went against familiar people. He went against this last game. He went against James Houston, who came from Jackson State, and then the game before that, the Colts game, he went against Isaiah Land, who came from FAMU. So the 2 guys that he had NFL reps with, the most NFL reps with, he's seen them before. because he's been the starting left tackle at Alabama A&M for 4 years. So he's seen Isaiah Land maybe when he was a sophomore, and he saw James Houston maybe when he was a junior. Well, I take that back. He saw Isaiah Land as a freshman. He saw James Houston as a sophomore. Then he had the two. They've been in the league for that time. So he's seen those two guys. They're just a little bit older and more mature than him. But the way that he moves, the way that he's already good, in my opinion, at down blocking. He has to get better at a lot of the technical stuff. And I can see him, this time next year fighting for somewhere on that line, even if it's on the right side, depending on what Ronnie do. And whenever Ronnie decides to walk away, if he continues to go on a trend that I think he's going to go on, I think he can step in and be Ronnie's replacement in, 2 years whenever Ronnie decides to, shut it down.
Wow.
Yeah, that's excellent to hear. Like Glenn said, he kind of queued me up for the right guard position. But I also want to talk to you about left guard. I mean, seemingly Voorhees has got the role locked up. I'm more concerned about his ability to finish a season than about his ability to play football. But we did just see, I forgot his name. He's the wide receiver for the 49ers. He got the 3-game suspension for the DUI. Gosh, I'm blanking on his name.
Is that Ayuk or Pearson?
No. I'll pull it up in a second. But I say all that to say that's part of the equation with Ben Cleveland in this whole situation.
Oh, right. Yeah.
But what's your take here on right guard and with Ben Cleveland in general, and Falele and things? How are you feeling about the right guard position?
So we're starting with right guard. Falele, like we all knew from the jump that he was going to start no matter what he put on tape. But what I will say about Falele is I have seen improvement. Is he to the point where I would like him to be because we have a Super Bowl caliber team? No, but I've seen improvement from last year to this year, and even from game 1 to game 2, I've seen improvement. So, I mean, it is what it is. I've been a anti-Falele for a little bit, but now that it's time to play football, I'm team Falele. I hope he does well. I hope he gets better each game. I just hope he finds a way to maximize his strengths because he'll never be fleet of foot. I just came to that realization. Like if he got to get to second level on linebackers, it's gonna be tough. If he got him in space trying to block or maybe a corner or something on like a screen, it's gonna be tough. You got to work Falele in the box, like from one gap to the next. Don't ask him to do too much. Don't even ask him to pull a lot. Just have him be big and to lean on people. And hopefully that'll, get us through because even if he don't execute blocks perfectly, he's so big that you got to do something extra to get around him. And with the backs we have, they can kind of, make the most out of that. And that's part of what I think what happened last year. Lamar was good at making people miss. The backs were good at the same thing. So I think it was a mask on how good our offensive line was and the fact that he even made the Pro Bowl because what I see versus what they said in the Pro Bowl, I ain't see the same thing. But I am team Falele now, and I hope that he don't mess up. Now, he gonna mess up some, but I'm just saying, don't mess up big time.
Don't be the reason, right? Don't be the reason why we come up short. And I think the worry is like with him, the lows are so low, Coach. Like he just needs to raise that floor and not have those horrible plays. And then I think he'd be okay. It's just the pendulum swings big time to the left. Sometimes, and it's hard to watch, and it makes you wonder, like, is he going to be the guy that holds them back? My question is, do you wish that they would have, like, how much do you think they knew that Emory Jones wouldn't be ready to compete, to push these guys? Like, do you think that it was surprising to them that Emory's still not on the field? Because it shocks me that there wasn't more competition brought in for Falele to, at the very least, push him a little bit. Like, do you think the idea was Emory to be that competition and the injury is more of a surprise?
I think it is surprising that Emory didn't get any snaps. But when Johns asked about Emory, I never saw him give that nasty, snappy response. He's always been like, like a normal person, so to speak. So I think Emory really wants to be out there. His injury is just more serious than they thought, and they trying to be careful because you know how we like to play the comp pick game with these linemen. So I think they just really gonna maybe redshirt him and move forward. But as far as the competition with Falele, I think that's what most of Ravens flock was worried about. Not that Ben Cleveland is just this all-time guard. It's just the fact that we don't see Falele competing, and we don't see Ben Cleveland enough to say, well, hey, both of them suck. I think that was the issue with most of the flock. But now that we've, and both of them had decent games last game. But I think Falele had a little better game. He already had the advantage because of, starting last year. But the one good thing of what I can say about it is the guys that are starting, that are so-called starting now, that was pretty much the starting lineup last year for most of the games, with the exception of McCarry, them first two at right. Then they moved him over to guard. So, Voorhees was there too.
So this is my last question regarding the guard position. Well, actually, I'm going to make it a two-part here. Do you think that some of the negative criticism of Falele is unwarranted? And then do you think that with him and Voorhees at the guard spots, we have enough to make a deep run?
The first part, I think last year was warranted. I like the way he played last year, it was warranted. Now coming into this year, a lot of people have these preconceived notions that they don't get a man a chance. That it's like any little thing that he does is going to be the end all be all. And so I came in with everybody starting over. And so I know what you did last year. Let's see if you got better. Now, it was a little bit evident in the first game because his body definitely looks better. But it was really evident in this last game right here where we just played versus the Cowboys. He looked like I ain't gonna say a totally different person, but he looked like a serviceable right guard. And again, that size really, really helps him. And as far as the do we have enough at the guard position? I think when 8's on the field, you got enough at whatever position. As bad as them guards are, or whatever. Our wide receivers used to be us four out there playing.
That's right.
And he still won.
I get 1,000.
Right. So it's long as 8 back there, we got a chance. And whatever the guard play is, they get good guard play, we have a better running game. If we don't get good guard play, Lamar turns into another 700, 800, 900-yard rusher.
Yeah, and I think that's where some fans get frustrated because they're just like, stop making it to where Lamar has to be Superman. Like, and the fact that there wasn't obvious competition for Falele, I think has, like you said, some of the flock frustrated, but is what it is. And hopefully we'll see more of what we saw in game 2 and not more of what we saw in game 1 where he got put on his ass. And then that patty cake, when he pulled that little patty cake he gave the guy, like, what the hell was, what is that going to do? Oh my God. That was tough to watch. But before we move off the offensive line, I think maybe the surprise or the shock of training camp thus far and preseason thus far might be Corey Bullock and the seemingly stranglehold he has over the backup center position, kind of tossing Nick Samac to the side. Do you think Corey Bullock has done enough and shown enough that he's going to make this 53?
I think there's considerable option there because I believe before this preseason, I think Ben Cleveland was the backup to both guards and center because we saw Ben play center too.
Yep.
But I think after the performance of Corey Bullock, and I don't know what he's done in practice, but in 2 games, I feel like he can be the backup guy and maybe even a backup guard too. With the way he's been playing, I've been impressed with what he's done. I can't recall an Aaron snap at all. Working combos, either whether it be with Dellinger, Falele, Ben Cleveland, or whoever else has been at guard. He's been working well with everybody. So I'm impressed with what I saw of the Bullock. And I think he is one of those guys that you can legit say, hey, this is a bubble guy. Like when you're filling out your 53, he's probably 51, 52, maybe even 53 on some rosters. I actually finished mine, but I ain't gonna let it out yet.
Okay. I like that. Here we go. Big E3 says the rave. This rave, by the way, 410 hashtag Ben Cleveland. Let's go. There's a faction of Ben Cleveland folks out there.
Oh, he's the leader.
Oh, is he? All right.
Yeah.
All right.
He's the leader. Yeah, he is the official Ben Cleveland. Like this man that's on you got on the screen.
Yeah.
The Ravens actually emailed him and banned him at one point.
No way.
You're joking.
It's on. He called into my show and told a story. I'll link you to the show that he did it on. Like after we finish, I'll send it to you. But he called into the show and told us what happened. Because I would see him, in the pre-practice presses or whatever, or pre-game. I see his tweets or his messages. Then all of a sudden, all of them would disappear.
Oh no!
So you know what that means.
So what did he say? What did he say?
What he got on the screen? Hashtag Ben Cleveland. He just kept spamming it.
I think the biggest thing, like Jimmy mentioned, the thing that hurts him, I mean, obviously he's in some sort of perpetual doghouse that we just don't know about. But on top of that, like Jimmy, the name Jimmy was searching for was Jordan Addison of the Vikings and DeMarcus Robinson of the Niners, who both got 3-game suspensions for the same thing that is the same charge that Ben Cleveland is facing. So I think the likelihood is that he'll get suspended for a portion, which the coach isn't going to dedicate time to a guy who's already going to miss 3 games.
And I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
In my evaluation, I completely that suspension thing is real, and you don't want to start a guy, then you got to take him out unless he like one of them ones, and he ain't one of the ones. So that probably definitely played a part, and I completely forgot about the suspension.
Yeah. So sorry, Ben. And Jimmy, sorry, Jimmy. I know you wanted him to be sorry after his divorce. You predicted that he would put his head down and he would just go all into football. And he turned to the bottle for at least one night.
Well, there's
understandably so.
Yeah,
he should just got an Uber.
Yeah, exactly.
He should have got an Uber.
Got an Uber. Now there's still a potential here, Glenn, in that. Are you putting any money on Voorhees finishing the season? It's not a knock on Voorhees, but it's just on his ability. But
so we betting again. Y'all betting again over here?
No.
Yeah, Jimbo, come on. I'll take Voorhees 17 games.
Okay.
No,
17.
Hold on.
17 games.
Let me get 15.
No, you said 17.
Yeah. All right. Oh, we gotta come up with the penalties here, Jimbo.
Yeah, we got to think on this.
I better start stretching. All right, well, let's move on then to the other.
Sorry, just to put a bow on this, Glenn, before we move on.
Yeah.
There's still a likely scenario that we'll see him out there, right? If Voorhees does get banged up. So, it's just about him. I'm holding on to hope that he'll take advantage of it, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Cleveland, that is.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I think if he gets a chance to get on the field, it's going to be hard to take him off. Because every time I see him in a game, when I see him in a game, he does his thing in a game. Now, like I said, I don't know what his practice habits is. I don't know if he done slapped the wrong person or whatever. But when he's actually in the game, he is pretty good in the game.
I agree.
Okay. All right. Well, let's hope if he is in the game that he continues that. But I did want to ask your take on the inside linebacker position behind Roquan Smith that seemed relatively open for grabs at the start of the season. Of course, Trenton Simpson had a bit of a leg up being a guy who's been here before, but Teddy Buchanan certainly pushing him and he was a 3rd-round pick. So it's not like it's a 6th-round pick. And then Jay Higgins comes out of nowhere and is making plays all over preseason and pushing both these guys. So what is your initial thoughts about that second linebacker spot? Do you think it's still Trenton Simpson's spot to lose because of his experience? Right. And are we overlooking his play because of the flashiness of what we've seen from Higgins?
Well, let me take you back. When we first picked these UDFAs up and I watched their college tape, I felt like they were pretty good then. Like I was wondering why those 2 guys didn't get drafted. And I'm talking about Martin and Higgins. So I've been on their train since we, picked them up. Now going into actual play, I think, like you said, Trenton has the lead with Teddy, because he got drafted a little bit higher than those other 2 guys. But when you look at it, Higgins has played just as well, if not better, than all of them. Now, that I don't think that warrants him to start just yet. I still think you give, Trenton the start, but I do think Higgins has moved up over Teddy, and I think Martin is over Hummel. If it was up to me, Hummel would be the last LB. I'd go Roquan, Trenton, Higgins, Buchanan, Martin, Hummel.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I like that. And look, I wouldn't be mad about being able to buy a Martin jersey. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not mad about that one bit. So that would be kind of cool to see a Martin running around with purple on. But with Jay Higgins, I mean, he came from Iowa. He came from the best defense in college. And so this isn't like, a guy who's coming from a small school like a Carson Vincent. This guy played in a big-time program against all the best colleges out there. and he was the centerpiece of the best defense. So
sure was.
I don't think there's any reason to say that he can't get it done. I'm shocked that he wasn't drafted, to be honest. I know that measurables can sometimes play a role, but man, Higgins just has a nose for the football, seems to be able to read and react already better than Trenton Simpson, who is still lurking on that processing speed. And so now he's seeing preseason schemes. He's not seeing. Right. So that I'm sure that's going to change some things once he sees actual NFL schemes. But man, I gotta think that if there's any leader in the, let me ask you, if you had to stack the undrafted rookies between, the two you just mentioned, but also I'll throw another one in there in safety, Lowry, who has been playing center field. This guy's going and getting the ball. And then I'm going to put Keon Martin in there, rookie out of Louisiana. Like, could we see more than one undrafted rookie make this team?
Oh, you're definitely seeing at least two. It's probably going to be Higgins and Lowry. And if you went off straight tape and not history with the Ravens, it would be Martin too, the cornerback Martin. If you went off straight tape.
Yep.
But we got so many corners, I just don't think I don't think they would, practice squad TJ Tampa. I don't think they practice squad Jalen Norman Davis. And then the other four, they vets. So we ain't gonna do nothing with that. So I think we keep 6 corners, and that's 6 of them right there.
I thought with Kone going down and with the other corner who we lost, Longerbeam. Yeah, I thought with them going down, it might open up an opportunity. But JAD's been playing well. You got to give him credit. He's finally healthy, and we knew once he was that he would be a force. Yeah. And it looks like if he finishes camp, it's going to be hard to unseat him for sure. Yeah.
Agreed. But Lowry is crazy.
Yeah. Excited about the development of TJ Tampa as well as a part of this equation, at the back end, the depth portion of this. Looking forward to that. Yeah. I mean, the defense is exciting here. What are your expectations for first year Malachi Starks? I know we've been talking a lot of preseason slots, but I want to get your, end of the roster spots positions, but what's your take on this combination? And do you think that they can be immediately impactful from the jump?
Now, I don't know if I said this on camera. I know I said it to my wife, but I don't know if I said it on camera, but I was a big Andrew Makuba fan coming out of, this process. My thing was I thought we needed a straight center fielder, and I thought Andrew Makuba would be the guy to fit that spot, and we didn't have to use a first-round pick on him. But with Ardarius going down and what we're going to ask the safety to do, I think we got the best guy for the job because he's multiple. He can play you some corner. He could, slide in the box if need to. He can play deep. He can play post or hash. So I think we got the most versatile of the safeties. And I think with Ardarius going down and us actually needing a move type guy, he's going to fit perfectly. I think he's going to have a good season. Definitely probably all rookie, rookie, whatever, the rookie team, whatever. And it's going to open up the door for Sanusi.
Not Bo Braid.
I think they like Sanusi more right now. Really? And I've been seeing Sanusi make more plays than Bo Braid. I like both of those guys. I just don't see both of them making it.
And then how does Lowry play? It kind of fit in there.
I think because of Lowry's play, that's why one of them two won't make it. Because I think Lowry makes it.
Because he's more that center fielder. The way he tracked that ball was, they loved that, didn't they? When they saw him track, I mean, Zach Orr went nuts when he saw him pick that ball off.
That's when he hurt himself, I think.
Yeah, he's got a strained calf. We got our DC on the IR now. What the hell?
I know.
Hey, you know what happens when it's a strained calf?
Than anybody else. Achilles.
It's going to be an Achilles, so you better be careful, Zach. You better.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was absolutely. Shout out to Don C for the 5 gifted memberships. Appreciate you. You guys can check those out and certainly take advantage of. DK was just talking about the content he was going to start adding up to the membership. So appreciate that. Bro Flacco, appreciate the 5 gifted as well. Cannot wait to see Joe. I'm curious what type of reception he's going to get. Home opener, Joe walks out, Cleveland Browns quarterback. Does he get a reception?
He's going to get love.
He's going to get love.
Yeah.
Hey, once a Raven.
Too many people love Flacco. He's going to get love.
I think he's going to throw us one. You know, once a Raven, always a Raven. He gonna throw us one.
More.
How you feeling about that whole saga over in Cleveland? Is this how you predicted it would go?
It kind of much was in line with what I was thinking was going to happen. There was one caveat. I didn't think Dylan Gabriel was going to perform in the game, and he did.
Mm-hmm.
He did. So now it throws a whole monkey wrench in. Like, do they really keep 4 quarterbacks, or do they got the gall to let one of their drafted guys go, or is Kenny Pickett you just the odd man out?
You got to get rid of Kenny Pickett if that's your like. You got to like. I can't believe they took Gabriel.
If something happened to Joe, you really don't want either one of them rookies starting.
Yeah, but either way, that team isn't competing. Like, I'd rather go, let's cut, if the rookies have to go in, we ain't competing for anything anyway. So, but yeah, that's a convoluted room. I don't get the Gabriel thing. I still don't understand. You take Gabriel just to take Shadur. I don't understand it. But before I want to get your take on this wide receiver position, because I am like, we talk about this all the time. We know the three, but is your take on, like, when you see what Tez is doing, you saw him get all those targets. He leads the team in catches in the last preseason game, and they use him in kind of a bunch of different ways. He's not just a one-trick pony. They're not just throwing him, a go route. But do you feel like how do you rank past 3 with D-Hop, because you got Bate, Zay, and D-Hop? Is the 4th receiver Tez, in your opinion, or is it Tylan Wallace still until, like, how do you view the 4th spot?
I think it's Tez, but I think it's Tez because the stuff that we see him doing right now, that's not going to be his role in the season. His role is going to be what you mentioned a minute ago. Go deep posts, go balls, deep overs. And that'll clear everything else out for them great pass catches we got underneath.
And Tylan can't do that, right?
Right. In my opinion, he can't.
Right. So that's why I have him as 4. Yeah. I
was talking today, like, I understand the role of the first 3. I understand what Tez Walker's role is going to be. I think whoever the 6th person is going to be special teams, whoever that person is. And I think Tyler makes the team, but I don't have a sense of what his role can and will be other than maybe like a gunner or something.
Yeah, because he's not going to be the punt returner, not after what Wester's shown.
No.
And he's not going to be the kick returner, so yeah.
I think the 2 kick returners are going to be Rasheen and Keith Mitchell.
Yeah. That's what it's looking like. Yeah, it's a tough spot for Tylan because he doesn't really bring anything incredibly unique offensively. But I guess if there were an injury to, say, Rashad Bateman, then maybe he would get some more targets. Is that how you look at it?
No, actually, because I think with something happening to Bateman, Ted slide into that role.
Wow.
And we, you can't forget about Mark and Likely, so it ain't like we're gonna have 4 wide receivers on the field a lot.
Right. Yeah. Tough spot for Tylan, right? Like,
it's been a tough spot for a long time for Tylan.
Yeah, he's just and then what is your take on LeJohntay Wester? At this point, he obviously jumped off the page with that punt return, showed vision, showed his ability to make people miss and break tackles. But I didn't love what I've seen from him as a receiver. Like, I feel like he's not there yet, unless you want to get him involved in maybe some gadget stuff like jet sweeps and stuff. But I look at him as right now just a punt returner. Do you disagree?
I don't disagree at the moment, but he hadn't performed like you think we want to in games. But I also feel like on the interception, when is LeJohntay Wester at 5'8", 125 going to be an X receiver?
Right. Yeah.
So, so I think he's a true slot person. They had him in X in college because that was college. But in the grown man league, that little joker not gonna be no X. He got to be inside where he can move and get picks and stuff like that. And that's no knock to him. It's just simple genetics. So I think they had him in positions that haven't been favorable for him. But the thing is, when you put players in those positions, if they excel, now you can be like, but maybe we can do a little something different if he can do that. But I don't, unless it's like a couple injuries, I don't see whoever that 6th person is, LeJohntay or Wade or Miller or whoever, they all good candidates to me. I was talking about that earlier. It's to pick that 6th guy, it's gonna be tough because LeJohntay has the punt return. Miller made some plays for us down the stretch last year, like in real games. Wade looks explosive. Then you got your 2 tall guys, Kirkwood and 84, not 84,
Banks?
82. Yeah, we got 2 tall receivers. I know Kirkwood was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Banks.
Yep.
And so picking that 6 guy is gonna be tough. But I think Wester has the advantage for punt return electricity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I gotta. No, I don't disagree with the coach, but I gotta ask you about DeAndre Hopkins. I think I've said it, and I think Glenn and DK think it's a bit outlandish, but I'm riding with it. I think the Ravens will get more value out of this signing than the Steelers will out of DK Metcalf this year.
He's going out on a shaky limb, Coach.
Mm-hmm. But I won't ask you to join me. That's fine. This is what I do. And then I can Glenn.
This is what he does, Coach. He makes crazy predictions.
Right again.
But he's usually right. I hate to say it, but he usually is. But this one, I don't know about this one.
I get where you're going, but I think you're going to be wrong simply because they really don't have anybody else to throw the ball to other than the tight end.
That's true. And I did say this, in fairness to me, when George Pickens was still on the roster.
That's true. You did.
Oh,
things have certainly changed.
Yeah.
You should better take that back.
Certain things have changed. I'm just riding with it. I think ultimately it's a bad proposition for defenders to have to say DeAndre Hopkins, even at this point, is the Ravens' third best pass catcher at wide receiver on the field, 4th best if you include Mark Andrews. Like, holy crap!
If you include likely.
Right? I mean, right. So this is still a bad proposition for defenders or defensive teams to be in. But what are you expecting from him this year? What should Ravens fans expect?
I expect out of D-Hop about 20 snaps, most of them from the 30 in.
Mm-hmm.
And, if his body holds up, you hit November, late December, that 20 go up to about 35, 40. But he always goes in the game inside the 30. Like, whatever the package is, D-Hop is in there inside the 30 because even when he ain't open, he open. So you need that guy in the red zone. And I really think, James, I'm going to step out on a limb with you too a little bit.
Let's go.
I think he has more touchdowns than DK.
Yep. There we go.
That's what I allowed him. I allowed him that, Coach. I said he might have more touchdowns. I might give you that.
Let's go.
DK definitely going to get some yards. But I think D-Hop will have more touchdowns than DK.
I love that.
Yeah. Hey, you'll take that as a win, Jimbo.
That's right. I mean, there we go. It means I have some semblance of sanity in my mind.
Well, look, this is the same guy who said Zay would be our number 1 receiver before the season started and had Kadri laughing in his face.
On the show, live.
Laughing like he's a rookie. and you saw how that ended up. And Jimmy reminds him all the time.
Shoot.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
but
right.
I can't let you. I can't let you out of here without asking about the 2 rookies up front on the defensive side of the ball, and of course, Mike Green is getting all the headlines. This guy is living up to what everyone thought he could be when he was a top 10 projected pick. Of course, fell because of the allegations, but the bend we've seen, the variety of moves we've seen, the motor we've seen from this guy. I mean, how impressed have you been from Mike Green, and what kind of player do you think we could see this guy be by, say, week 10?
It's going to be hard to say goodbye to Oway.
Glenn, you ready to make another bet?
I'm not saying like this year, but when when Oway demand this ridiculous amount of money, and we got a rookie sitting here that has at your level in year 1, and you're in year 5. Nah, man, you got to go. But I think he got all the pass rush moves already. He's only going to get better at that when he gets a little stronger. Mm-hmm. And you don't have to take him out on run downs because he can play the run as well. We've always drafted bulky run stoppers and tried to teach them pass rush. This dude came in with a bag half full. Mm-hmm. And then you get him with Chuck. That's the icing on the cake. And now all he needs is reps. He needs reps to figure out like what he can and can't do versus these stronger guys until he gets, equal strength or whatever, and just how he can use his quickness to beat, certain guys. And if he get reps to do that, it's gonna be hard to take that young man off the field. I think he's gonna start off in spot duty, but his spot duty is gonna quickly come with the fans yelling, "Mike Green, we want Mike."
Yeah, that bend, that picture of his ankle bend, It's crazy, man. It's crazy to see him be able to just put his foot in the dirt, get low like that. But also Aeneas Peebles. I mean, this guy, another guy who's showing a ton of motor, definitely a change of pace of what we have there. He can certainly, it looks like, provide some pass rush from the interior, which we all know, quarterbacks hate. What do you think about Aeneas Peebles? And maybe not to the polished level that we see from Mike Green, but do you think he can contribute at least on passing downs and spot duty, like you mentioned?
What I love about Aeneas is because he already knows he lacks in size, so to speak, but his hand fighting is just out of this world. He is excellent at hand fighting. That's why you see him winning reps, versus these bigger guys, not because he's overpowering. He's good with his swipes. He's good with his chops. He got a spin move to be a big dude. He got all this different stuff on the inside, and he ain't using brute strength because he know he gonna lose out in that case. So he mentally, Fub is a guy that I think that's gonna be on the back end of the defensive line room, but he'll get spot pass rush duty. He ain't gonna defend the run right now. He might get rolled up out of there on the run, but pass rush, you get interior pass rush like you said, and you get Green off the edge or Matabike beside him, and he get one-on-one. He can beat some people, especially some guards. He might not beat some tackles. He's definitely gonna beat some guards.
I think it's an interesting commodity too, because I almost feel like this could be inflammatory, but I almost feel like the ability to rush at the interior is, I don't know if it's more valuable, but certainly I think it's more difficult to find.
It's more difficult to find, definitely, which means it's more valuable. Because you take a guy like Chris Jones. Chris Jones don't matter. He gonna go find your weakest defender, and they're gonna set the line to where he get a one-on-one, which that was Falele last year, and he did it. And so Chris Jones just walk up down the line.
He'll play end.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you got a bad left tackle or right tackle, he'll go play in. But he can do it from the inside. You get Quentin Williams. You get a few more guys that's special with pass rushing from the inside. It's because you only got about 5 guys in the league that can do it.
Yeah,
effectively, and because a quarterback gonna step up. A lot of people rush the edge and make the quarterback step up, right? How many teams got a guy that's gonna push that middle of that pocket so there is no way to step up?
Right.
That's probably why the Chiefs are so tough in the playoffs, because they got Chris Jones, who just and it's great. Like every time I think of that, I try and put myself in the shoes of that offensive lineman who knows. Oh, damn, here comes Chris again. He just knows he's going to get his ass, and he has to fight his ass off, just getting beat up. Like, here we go again. Like, man, it's got.
I can hear him saying in their mind, just lose slow. Just lose slow. Just lose slow.
Hold on. Just hold on. That's all you got to do is hold on.
And actually hold him if you have to.
Yeah, exactly.
Protect your star player.
Now, Coach, before we get you out of here, DK has a question for you. How important do you see Travis Jones' development being in this defensive line this year?
Oh, yeah. The people that watch they know I love Travis Jones. I think Travis Jones is better than BK. Right now, I do. I think Travis Jones is better than BK. And I think everybody would know that if Travis didn't hurt his ankle last year. Because the first 2 games, BK was getting doubled, and Travis was going off. The 3rd game, all those doubles went to Travis. And I was amazed that a guy that's his first year starting, in 2 weeks, he started to command double teams because they couldn't really block him in games 1 and 2. And then that's when I think he hurt his ankle game maybe 4 or 5. And even though he came back later on, he just wasn't that guy. But healthy Travis, to me, is better than BK. Wow. The numbers may not say that because I think now Travis is going to get the double teams and BK is going to have more one-on-one. Which means whoever playing defensive end for us in pass rush situations better eat, because you're going to get one-on-ones.
And then with CJ Okoye coming out of nowhere, the monster that he is, what is that? Like, quickly, if you have thoughts on Okoye, but also what does this mean for Broderick Washington? Where is his role in this team?
I think Broderick good. I think Broderick is that second, third defensive end, and he's in the vet pool, and he'll be there until some of them young guys boot him out. Now, as far as Okoye, I don't like what I saw on tape.
No,
I know he made a couple plays, getting the quarterback, but I just see a big guy to just stand there and be big. I don't see no explosiveness. I see him being 2 times the size of people, and him trying moves, and the people like looking at him like, ha ha, ha ha. And when you this massive man, you should at least just be able to plow through some of these people. Now, I do understand that football's new to him, but we're not. I don't think we're in the point of developing from that level because we're trying to win Super Bowl.
Yeah. That's fair.
That's fair.
But he's definitely huge. He's definitely huge.
He makes Travis, like Jimmy will tell you, the first time we went to camp this year, I was tapping on the show. As soon as we got to the stand, I said, who the hell is that making Travis Jones look small? I've never heard him before. I said, holy, he is massive.
Okay.
His first game was a preseason. His first organized football game was a preseason NFL game.
That's crazy. So you guys have saw the combination of Linderbaum, Flalele, and Cleveland standing together. Have you seen that?
Oh my God! Yes,
it looks
insane.
It looks like two grown men taking a toddler somewhere.
Even
Coach,
next to Rosengarten. Rosengarten looks small.
We saw Cleveland at the end of practice that we went to walking with Ronnie Stanley, and he made Ronnie look like a tight end.
Yeah,
like legitimately made him look like a tight, and not even like a big tight end, like a route running, non-blocking tight end, like
a Darren Waller.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. You're like, geez, this guy needs to get on the field, man. But no, Coach, we appreciate so much your time every time you're on the show. We're looking forward to the season coming up here soon. If we don't catch you beforehand, of course we will thereafter. We want to have you on for this question as well because you may have some input. If you have any good ideas, please let us know. Jay Hang says, James and Glenn, what kind of bet you guys doing this season? Seeing James eat the Baconator was hilarious. Sorry, James. It was a good time. I still get made fun of for that one by my family. Made for some good content. But I mean, I think Glenn's punishment. I think we're gonna whatever it is. If we're going, it's gonna have to be more than a 5K this time, Glenn.
Okay, well, it's got to be more than a Baconator.
I don't know. The Baconator was the deep end, is my point. Like, dude, I went straight to the deep end. I'm asking you to run 2,000 steps.
Jimmy, that's a pretty deep end for me, okay? That's a pretty deep end for your boy, all right?
That's true.
We'll come up with something. I'm sure.
Yeah. And we'll see if it involves Voorhees availability.
Yeah, it might. But
it's going to be something fun, that's for sure.
Appreciate seeing all the new faces in the chat. I'm sure. Thank you, Coach, for bringing all the new faces. I've seen a bunch of unique names, so appreciate everybody who jumped in here. I see Big E3. Is that the person who loves the Ben Cleveland?
Okay,
yeah.
That is him. That is him.
And if you ever, Coach, while we're here, if you ever want to do if you ever want to do a joint show too, we figured out how to do that. We did that with Raven. That was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, we can be on both channels at the same time. Both of them at the
same time. So if you ever want to do that, happy to do that. Cool. But appreciate it. Thanks again, Coach. We'll let you go and enjoy the beginning of the season. Last game of preseason, of course, and we will certainly talk soon. Thank you again.
No problem. Appreciate you guys for having me.
Thanks, Coach.
Absolutely.
Thanks, yeah, excited about this last. I wonder how much is truly still up for grabs from a competition standpoint with the final preseason game. I doubt that there's a ton left that they need to see from these guys. But hey, I'm sure if Higgins were to go out and pick off a pass and have a couple tackles for loss and some of these, maybe they force themselves onto the opening day roster and maybe kind of leapfrog some of these veterans that have been around for a year or two.
Yeah, no, it's look, I'm sure that coach every time he goes out, before this last game, he has to be referencing Michael Pierce, right? Yeah. The Michael Pierce story, right? Wasn't that that was the fourth preseason game at that point where he had, I think it was the safety. Where he
balled out, yeah.
Yeah, just had a breakout game. Not that he wasn't doing things before, but certainly, just caught a lot of eyes. I remember watching it and, who is this dude?
Yeah.
Right. Built like a fire hydrant, man. He can move, right? So he has to be citing that to these guys. There's still a lot to play for. So we're excited. It's a noon game on Saturday, right?
Yeah, it's Saturday at noon. You got it. Yep.
Yeah, it's an interesting time, but we'll be there, of course, to talk about it nonetheless. But I think that's it for us tonight, Glenn.
That is it. It was fun chatting with you guys, but we will, of course, be back for this final preseason game and keep you guys up to date on all your Ravens news. But that's it for us tonight. Appreciate you guys who all joined us. Have a good one. See you.
Caca, caca.